All right, everybody, and now let's move on to the House of M, a great X-Men comic, and features Scarlet Witch and a lot of cool characters and Magneto, and just a fun little tale. So hopefully you guys read it. If you haven't, and you don't care about spoilers, we're going to spoil everything. So go ahead and read that or enjoy your faces. Go ahead.
The House of M begins with Wanda giving birth to twins, and the whole Magneto family's there. Quicksilver, Magneto, Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
The whole family.
Yes, the whole Maximoff, Lancaster, whatever their names are, family.
And then Professor X kind of rolls in.
No pun intended.
No pun, no, none. And he basically tells her to stop, and it's kind of vague at first. It's like, well, stop what? You know, it seems like a very cruel comment initially. Then the reader picks up that this isn't real. She can't, because he shouts out, Wanda, you can't have children. You need to stop this.
Stop existing. You can't have children.
That would be hilarious to walk into a fucking, like, a hospital room of someone giving labor and be like, stop. You can't have children. You're not supposed to. Stop. Just being unbelievably rude. Just kill the magic right there. But she's altering reality. And this isn't real. And apparently every time she does this, I don't know what the metaphysical consequences are, but we know it hurts her for sure. She becomes less and less stable. And they reveal that, you know, previously she murdered a good portion of the old Avengers.
Right.
Or whatever Avengers, a healthy mix of them. I can't really... I know which ones they didn't kill because I know which characters show up in the comic, but
right.
Hawkeye is very dead. They make that extremely...
He's just filled with 100 arrows.
Yeah, he's super dead. And of course she stops. It's unclear if she stops under Xavier's command or if Xavier literally like forces her out of the altered reality. Not so much because it's not clear. I honestly just can't remember.
Right.
It's a long comic. It's a very long comic.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, like all comics, I finished it about 10 minutes before we started recording. So, yeah, it's pretty long. And so what happens is they have a giant meeting with some of the Avengers, a lot of the X-Men, and they're asking, what do we do about Wanda? Because if we're not careful, she will literally destroy the universe. And there's a big argument, you know, Captain America's being the Boy Scout saying,
always.
No, she's an Avenger. Yeah,
Hail
exactly.
Hydra. Hail Hydra. He's usually just saying Hail Hydra.
There's so many good memes of that, dude.
Yeah.
There's a really good King of the Hill one where he's like, charcoal, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I know.
It's so good. Oh my god. But yes.
Charcoal, I tell you what.
I was dying. I was just every 30 minutes for the rest of the day I just had to look at that picture. But yeah, so it's pretty mixed, and Spider-Man's also very much against it. Like he's like, if I ever go crazy, are you guys just gonna put me down?
Right.
And Wolverine says, yes, we are. That's exactly what we do, and I'd hope you do the same for me. A very typical Wolverine.
Yeah, very, very gruff answer.
And I believe Professor X is rather quiet. Doesn't really say a lot. The most vocal party on the other side of the argument is the White Queen. Emma Frost says, well, we know what we gotta do. What are we waiting for? Why are we not killing her, like, right now?
Right.
I really feel like we should be doing less talking, more killing. She is so ready to kill Wanda, and she's ridiculously catty about it. Like, even if you agree with her, and I think you can make a strong argument for her case,
sure,
she is so mean-spirited about it. I mean, until the halfway point, Emma Frost is a pretty unlikable character in this story, but that she rebounds pretty strongly. And finally, and ironically, Colossus is for the killing. He's like, yeah, let's kill her. I thought that seemed kind of out of character.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, he's like, what to be waiting for? But I can't do a Russian accent. But anyway,
what are we waiting for, huh?
Yeah,
just fucking kill her.
We're not the boy band. But yeah, I don't know. So finally, Cyclops just kind of grabs the professor's shoulder and says, are we going to stand for this? Are we just going to kill Wanda? And Xavier gives this beautiful, frightened look to Cyclops and says, Scott, I don't know what to do. And his eyes are so sad but so frightened, and it's so well done, so beautifully well, dude. Dude.
It's just so beautifully well, dude.
It's good. It's very emotional. And then so they all gather around to go after Wanda. I don't think they've made a decision yet. Whether they're going to talk to her, whether they're going to take her out. But they need to confront her or Magneto or someone. And I think they're trying to. I think at this point, Professor X has kind of vanished. So they arrive, and it flips over to Magneto and Quicksilver's conversation.
Right. And
Quicksilver is just bawling. He's like, "Dad," or whatever he calls Magneto.
Pa.
They're gonna yeah. They're gonna kill Wanda. They're gonna kill my sister. And Magneto again gives a really good response where he just like he just kind of shrugs. He's sad about it, but he's like, what can you really do about it? And,
right.
And I think Quicksilver shouts something along the lines of, he freaks out so much that Magneto can't even hear him because he's just squirming so quickly that he can't produce sound. And Magneto's like, you gotta stand still. I can't hear you when you move that fast. And it's a little funny, but it's still a touching moment.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can't let them kill Wanda. And Magneto goes, what would you have me do? And Quicksilver shouts again. What's up?
I said, what would you have your Magneto do?
Yeah.
That's what he says to him.
Oh, that'd be good shit. And so Quicksilver repeats. He's like, they're going to kill her. And Magneto repeats even louder, what would you have me do? And Quicksilver's response is to throw himself against Magneto's chest crying. And then it shows the tears of Magneto's eyes. And it's really touching. There's a lot of good stuff in this comic. Yeah. That's kind of like the bane of this show, is I really don't want to spoil a lot of this stuff. But I want to sell people on it. And that means talking about a lot of the good stuff.
Right.
Everyone should read this. I mean, even if you take out all the dialogue, it's just a beautiful comic.
Oh, yeah. I love this comic. It's one of my favorite X-Men ones. Definitely.
It's probably the only compilation X-Men comic I've ever read. I'll read more, of course, now, but very good stuff. And Professor X is gone. He just disappears, and they can't find Wanda. Wanda's gone too, and they're like, "Where's Wanda? Where's Professor X?" Then they're like, we should probably monitor everyone to make sure no one else just randomly disappears. And Spider-Man is like, well, my spider sense didn't detect anything. I don't think anyone else is going to disappear. And then Spider-Man looks around and everyone's gone. So that's good. Right? Spider-Man is very funny in this comic. I can't remember any of the jokes, but he's very funny.
Right.
And then everything turns white, and next thing you know, we are in an alternate reality. And it's a mutant-dominated world, ruled, at least the U.S. I'm not clear if it... Or Ganesha? What's it called?
Ganesha.
Or, oh, fuck. Let's get the comic out.
Ganesha. It sounds familiar.
It's something...
Ganesha.
Let's see, Magneto...
Ganesha.
Genosha.
Let's say that sounds so familiar.
But it sounds like the world in general is mutant ran. Like in the U.S., it is a mutant, basically a mutant populace kind of dominating society. There are humans, and they do walk freely, but they're in sort of a controversial position.
Right.
So it's a different world. Obviously, we can't go over every plot thread. We go over Luke Cage's position. We go over...
Captain America's.
Yeah, Captain America's. Oh god, see, there's so much, but Wolverine's the center point. That's what's important.
Right.
For some reason, and it's not clear, he remembers everything. I don't remember why he gets all his memory back, but it starts with him waking up next to Mystique. They're an item. I don't know if that's always been a thing with those two, but that's what's going on there.
And I think that's why it's so weird, is that it's just such an alternate thing. But yeah, I don't ever recall them being like a flirtatious.
And he basically just jets. He jumps off a building, which is, I mean, kind of sucks from Mystique's point of view, where she has sex with someone and they jump off a building the next day. Like that's not a great feeling.
When that happens.
No, it's the worst. It's Terrible things for your self-esteem. But he goes on a journey trying to find out what's going on, and eventually the X-Men try to capture him, or whatever. It's basically a mutant squad, and they're trying to bring Wolverine back. They keep saying a wire split or whatever, or a stitch opened up,
right?
Like he's going crazy. And then this sort of sapient resistance kind of finds him. We're going to speed through this. This is like we're not even like halfway through. Right? I'm going to go a little faster here. He joins them, and none of them have their memories. But Wolverine explains what happened, how the reality was altered by the Scarlet Witch, and the only one who believes him is Luke Cage because a little girl told him the same thing 3 days ago.
Right.
So they find this little girl, and she can bring back everyone's memories of the previous reality. She's basically Super MacGuffin. And she does that. That's actually really cool. They go to the X-Men and the mutants and the non-mutants too, one by one, to get their memories back. They just throw a girl at her. It's hilarious. It's like they just keep tossing this little blonde girl at people, and they get their memories back. It's kind of cheap, but it works. And it's just hilarious. So people are like, Doctor Strange is just walking out of a hospital, looking at his watch. Bam! Throw a girl at her. He got all his memories back. He's a wizard again. So eventually, all the mutants have their memories back, and they're like, we have to take down the House of Magnus. Because they all think, ooh, I don't even know if I want to spoil that. You know, I'm not. I'm probably not going to say what's really going on, but they do attack the House of M, and Doctor Strange talks to the Scarlet Witch and be like, do you remember? Do you know what's going on? And for the most part, she does. She's cognizant, but she's also a little broken. Emotionally, you can tell she's not all there. And Doctor Strange is playing along because she's playing with her children, her fake, not real children.
Right.
And Doctor Strange is kind of like, you know, being very soft-spoken, being very kind. He's almost like a kindergarten teacher. It's a very good scene. But she reveals to him everything that really happened, and you find out why reality actually altered. And it wasn't exactly what the X-Men or what the main characters initially thought. I was half right. I knew it wasn't who they thought it was.
Right.
But it wasn't who they ended up revealing. It crossed my mind. I didn't think about it, but it makes sense. And basically, reality doesn't necessarily go back because when Scarlet Witch makes everything the way it was prior, and she finally kind of doesn't come to her senses. She just goes into a very different kind of rage and does a different reality. So we're not really sure if this is the exact same reality we had before. Right. But what we do know is that there are no more mutants. They're gone. They're very super gone. And Professor X is still nowhere to be seen. So this leaves you with a lot of questions. I do not know if there's a sequel to this comic. But I would really like to know some things. I'd like to know what happened to Professor X. And we're still, because it's implied that Cerebro and Professor X played a part in Wanda's reshaping reality. I don't know if that was ever directly answered. There's a lot happening in this comic, and I've only read it once, and I had to read it relatively quickly, so I'm sure I missed a lot of things. Very good, though. Very good. If a lot of your favorite characters are going to get a good showing. Spider-Man is in this alternate reality is married to Gwen Stacy.
Right.
And while married to Gwen Stacy, not only does he remember that she's dead, but he remembers that he's married to Mary Jane.
Yeah.
So he's cheating on Mary Jane with a dead girl, and he just breaks down. Yeah. It's very well done.
Yeah, I remember that being very emotional.
I think the argument was very well done, much better than it was done in the Civil War film,
right,
or in the Batman v Superman movie. It's just the argument is very good. Like, I think Emma Frost asked Doctor Strange, "Have you exhausted all possibilities on how to deal with Wanda?" And he goes, "Yes." And then she goes, "Okay, well then we know what to." And then he interrupts, "But I am still investigating other possibilities. I'm still trying to find solutions." Right. I really like. People wonder why Doctor Strange is my favorite character. It's because he's such a nice guy. So yeah, thoughts, Cyborg. What do you got for me? Or Stefan, of course.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
That would have been good.
Just kidding. No. it was what I love about this comic is exactly what you are basically touched upon is a lot of the characters are done so well, and there's so many great characters in it, be it Avengers or Mutants, X-Men characters, that so many people get a good showing. You don't feel like, oh man, this person was just there just to be there. Like anybody that was there in any sort of prominent role got their limelight and got some great characterization that really showed through their personality. Like the stuff, like you said, with Spider-Man, the whole, it's like he's in an internal struggle of what to, like he knows what's reality is, but he's he enjoys his fantasy land because obviously it's Gwen Stacy, somebody that he had huge feelings to that was taken from him obviously at an earlier time, but it's just like that's the kind of stuff that it's written so well, and the interactions between the characters is written so well, and I love the whole guessing what's really going on aspect and who's really behind it and all of that type of stuff, and I don't know, I just enjoy the book, and it has good art, and it's just a solid X-Men thing. When I first came across it when I was looking up the best X-Men storylines or the graphic novels, etc., and it was amongst the top of the list. So I definitely recommend anybody to check it out. So
a lot of good showings too. I mean, the list is huge. It's not just Spider-Man. It's not just Doctor Strange. There's a lot of good showcasing in this comic of characters.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you like Wolverine, you found your fucking comic. Oh my gosh. See, I do. I like Wolverine a lot.
I like Wolverine. He's not my favorite or even in my top 5 of the X-Men, but this comic's really great for a lot of reasons, for sure. As far as rating it, I'd probably give it an A-. It was very, very good. How about you?
I'm gonna say A+. This is, I think, the best thing I've read on this show.
Wow.
I don't say that lightly.
I was to say, I mean, Long Halloween's good.
Long Halloween's amazing, but
Year One's good. But yeah, no, I don't think we've done Year One actually. But Long Halloween's good, and we've done some very good ones. But yeah, that's good. I mean, like I said, it might be my favorite X-Men one. I've only read a few X-Men ones, so I don't have a whole lot to compare it to. I mean, I've read a lot of individual X-Men comics, but if we're talking graphic novel, like a whole story arc together, I've only read maybe 3 or 4, and this was one of them, and I really enjoyed it. So
yeah, God, I just want to go down the list. Magneto is so good in this.
Oh,
Magneto is fantastic.
I love Magneto.
God, I mean, I like Magneto, but oh man, really good. Just such a good showing. Oh God, it just. I mean, there's some weak showings too. Nightcrawler is kind of side staged for this. That's okay.
But I mean, he doesn't have to be in everything. But yeah, obviously, me being a big fan of Nightcrawler, would have liked to see more of him.
I guess if I had criticism of the story, it would be I would have liked more answers. They're extremely murky all the way up to the very last page. And you kind of have to walk away with those questions, and that may bother some people. It bothered me a little bit. Another, I don't want to say, well, no, this is definitely a criticism. As good as the art is, there's so many characters in each panel that the dialogue bubbles are a clusterfuck. They're a huge clusterfuck. So when I read the first bubble, I had no idea who said that until I traced past like 14 other bubbles. I'm like, oh, Kitty Pryde, gotcha.
Right.
But then you have to do that with the next bubble because there's 4 other characters on screen, so you got to follow that. And just like, oh, it really hurt my eyes after a while.
Yeah, no, I agree there.
Problems. What other problems are there? Like I said, they kind of rush it. Like when they start throwing the little girl at people, I laugh about it, but I can see that being construed as a problem for some people. She is very random. She's completely a MacGuffin. Like her only purpose is for everyone to get their memory back. And I thought they were building her up to something like, oh, maybe she's actually an X-Men in disguise. Maybe she's going to turn into an important character later on.
Right, that's what I kept thinking.
At the end of the story, she's just a random-ass girl. She is rando Calrissian. No purpose in anything. She was just there to be a device to get all the memories back. That's all she is. That was kind of disappointing. Other than that, Yeah, the humor's great, the story's great, great character showings. If you like Spider-Man, this is a must. If you like Doctor Strange, this is a must. If you like any of the Magnetos, this is a must.
Any of the Magnetos.
Yeah, they're all good.
Any of those Magneto families.
Yeah.
Any of the Magnetos.
Except for maybe the Scarlet Witch. Believe it or not, the Scarlet Witch has a very brief showing. She the very beginning and the very end. And that's about as Wanda as it gets.
I mean, she plays a major part, though. But yeah, I mean, she's not the one you're following around for the whole thing or anything like that.
She's a catalyst for sure.
Right.
But like, if you want to get knee deep in Wanda, maybe you should look for a different comic. Maybe not your style.
I'm interested to see that happen. Knee deep in Wanda. I feel like that should be a porno.
Well, also, I think
knee deep in Wanda.
It's a lot. That's pretty deep. That's a considerable distance.
You've heard of fisting. Have you heard of footing?
Kneecapping sounds awful. Like I hope that's not a thing. I hope that's not like a.
Sometimes you just gotta push your limits a little bit further than they've already been pushed.
I feel like that'd be difficult for both parties. I feel like I would cramp if I tried that. Like I don't even think that'd be comfortable.
I don't know.
But I'll say this: if you only know Wanda from the Avengers universe and the cinematic universe,
right?
This is a very different Wanda, much more powerful Wanda, a much more unstable Wanda.
Oh yeah,
very very dangerous and. Ooh, yeah.
That's who the character is for sure. I mean, she gets kicked out of the Avengers for being mind controlled by Doctor Doom. So.
Well, and I hope they do that in the movies. I hope Wanda just goes insane in the Infinity War. That would be great drama. Yeah.
Well, I was just saying she's got like a weak mind, a whole lot of power, and she's unstable. So that's a very very deadly combination.
Well, I think I'm kind of disappointed she didn't lose her mind in Age of Ultron because I thought that was going to happen. I thought Ultron was going to body the Avengers and Scarlet Witch was going to hit the reset button. That's really what I thought was going to happen.
Right.
And stuff like that's okay if it's done right. You can't do that in every movie because it takes out a lot of the tension. But I don't know, this would have been an opportunity, so hopefully we see something like that. Maybe that'll happen now. Maybe Thanos will just body the Marvel Universe. Ant-Man, Falcon, Doctor Strange, and Wanda's the solution to that. Maybe that's what they're saving, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That's pretty much. It's kind of like X-Men Apocalypse. I know I have more to say, but they're just. It's all like a giant cloud in my brain.
Right.
So.
All right. So you give an A plus. I
give
it A minus. I'd say maybe A. Like I don't know. There's just certain. You touched upon a lot of the issues, but it wasn't even that I had so much issues. I just go basically on pure enjoyment. I did enjoy it quite a bit. I'd put Long Halloween above it just because, and I have a hard time giving it an A plus as well because that kind of, to me, it's like I feel like the A plus should be your favorite, and I don't know. I have a hard time. I guess you could.
Well, if we were doing it, it's harder when we're doing letters. If we were doing a number system, this would be like a 9.
Well, that is like an A minus, though. I mean, that is what a 9 is. A 9 to like 9.3, I think is, or I don't know what an A minus is. It's supposed to be around there.
Well, remember, for me, a 5 is a pass. If you got a 5, that's passing.
Sure.
At least for comics. Movies, yeah, I'd still say so. Man, maybe I gave too high of a score to X-Men Apocalypse. But anyway, yeah.
But no, yeah, definitely.
I feel like for some people, this comic is going to have a ceiling for how good it can be because it has no concentrated villain. It doesn't really have a central character if you don't count Wolverine, and Wolverine kind of dances around a bit. He doesn't really have a clear goal. We didn't really talk about Hawkeye much. Hawkeye is probably, I don't really know Hawkeye from the comics that well. He's super angsty.
Yeah,
and
well, he's very
dead,
sarcastic. He's very he's just kind of bullheaded and very sarcastic in the comics.
And it was really cool seeing the other Marvel characters react to Wolverine's powers. Because remember, this is a new reality, so they've never seen Wolverine's powers before. So that's a really good moment as well. But I mean, we'll use that as a stopping point because I could literally do this all day, just finding good moments. It's a fucking, it's like a 300-page comic or something. It's crazy long.
So check it out, people. Definitely check it out. And then now is the time where we say what the next comic should be.
Well, I feel like for this, since Injustice is going to be displayed at E3, hopefully, I'd be very surprised if there's no gameplay. Maybe we should do Crisis.
Crisis? Let's see.
I hope that's the one I bought. Let me see which one I bought, dude.
Sure.
La 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 la. Go on Amazon.com and look at my purchase history. Oh gosh, this is a lot less intuitive than I remember it being. Kindle orders. Okay, cool. Let's see what we got. Type into my password. Oh man, I buy a lot of digital shit. This may take a little while. Let's see.
Oh,
See, Kindle keeps giving me free shit, so I have all the shit I've never heard of because it's just free. Oh my god, it's not even in chronological order of when I bought it. Fuck. Okay, we got this. Hold on, I found it.
Should be either Infinity Crisis or Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Well, that's the problem. I get those two confused, so I don't want to commit just yet, because I only bought one of those. Let me just fucking type in Crisis. Holy shit. Oh my god, I had it, and it fucking clicked refresh. I'm sorry, this is only going to take 2 minutes. Talk about something. Talk about anything.
Oh god. The Killing Joke is coming out on July 23rd, so we should probably do that as well, but we still have plenty of time for that.
That's a short one too, I guess.
That's a short graphic novel. I just read that actually a couple weeks ago, and it's very, very, well, just wait.
I was hesitant on buying that just because it was so short, right. And I just didn't feel like I was going to get my my dough's worth.
It's a classic, but yeah, it's definitely shorter, on the shorter side there.
Okay, listen, my Kindle history is just fucked. So we're going to go with the older of the two. Whichever's older, that's the one we're going to read, because that's the one I bought. So I'm sorry. I had it. I saw it in my eye, but then the list fucked itself. So I Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's okay. It. I found it. We're good. Crisis on Infinite Earths. That is what we're reading.
All right, that is the one we are reading. So we'll check that out next time, guys. So for now, you guys take care.
Later, guys.